I am the Philosophical Bachelor. Welcome back. Today I'm going to read Chapter 2 of Xperience the Revolution. The wind and waves are always on the side of the ablest navigators, wrote Edward Gibbon in The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. While he might have been born in the wrong place, DSB was certainly born at the right time. Semiconductors had been displaced by supercooled quantum-stacked neuronal chips, paving the way for silicon-based consciousnesses. Most conventional jobs had by then been displaced by all singing, all dancing artificial intelligences, though that did not bother DSB. He had set his mind on creating a pain-relieving machine capable of generating immersive illusions. His father, Troitius, was suffering from a slow, debilitating cancer of the liver which had spread to his brain. The pain from the treatments were at times so extreme that he suffered nightmares even under the influence of mind-altering opiates. DSB would come in at night when the nurses were away having their meals. He would plug Troitius into what would come to be known legendarily as NM1. NM1 augmented what remained of Troitius's cognitive powers, generating a dream world of memories where Troitius was still a young man, newly arrived in the West with his family in tow. DSB knew that while life was tough then, and Troitius was under a lot of pressure from every side, it was also a time of great hope and promise for him. Troitius thrived, energized by his drive to create a new and better life for his children. Supported by his long-suffering wife, Hyperphene, he managed to overcome their poor odds. She became a hairdresser while he did odd jobs for those in their village of Leuven. He was a handyman who had a knack for fixing things. David got his gift for tinkering from him. The NM1 was more a memory machine than an Xperience machine, lacking the silicon-based consciousness that DSB would develop later. When DSB wanted to bring NM1 to market, he faced a litany of obstacles from Belgium's governing institutions. His rational mind fought it, but he was also wise enough to face the facts. He knew then that Europe was not the place to launch game-changing technologies. Multatuli was fast becoming known as the Switzerland of the Pacific. A recent change of administration heralded in new leaders who were set on developing the nascent country's financial base. They were ready to capitalize on the decline of Switzerland's fabled private and secretive banking services. With its small size and lack of really anything it could sell, Multatuli banked on a toolbox of financial services, taking a leaf from the top business centers of the world. It managed to build a narrow but important niche, attracting a small fringe gathering of entrepreneurs at the radical age of technology, who could benefit from a favorable tax regime, but more importantly, an environment that allowed them to experiment in even the most far-out scientific domains, like human cloning, euthanasia, or fetal cell growth. Money launderers were warmly welcomed there. High-security vaults conveniently situated next to the airport housed the finest jewels and art pieces, with a host of specialists ready to advise on how to disguise the money trail. Multatuli was akin to the red light districts of economies, where one was free to pursue what no developed nation dared to touch. It often surprised ordinary people that such a place could exist. The fact is, the developed world needed Multatuli as much as Multatuli needed them. The country, with only half a century of history, had become a two-speed economy. There was the so-called International Zone, which housed the most extraordinary architectural developments, home to the outrageously rich technologists who have come to settle in Multatuli. And then there were the heartlands. While not poor, the people there served the needs of the International Zone, enjoying a middle-class existence with enough skills to work, but not lead the country's bleeding-edge organizations. When there was such a mix, there need necessarily arise a third officially unacknowledged zone. This zone was an underworld which, while not considered as one of the speeds of the two-speed economy, was needed to serve both tiers. After all, where does the fetal cells come from to feed the laboratories for fetal experimentation? This underworld had found its own fame. If a person from the West needed an organ for organ transplant with such organs in short supply everywhere in the developed world, one needed only to fly to Multatuli. The country stood ready not just to supply the organ, but had the medical expertise and facilities to retrofit the new organ into the failing bodies of those who could afford it. You could imagine the kind of crowd such a country attracted. While not quite an official motto, Mutatuli was known to be where anything goes, which was ideal for DSB's encore. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed Chapter 2 of Xperience the Revolution. Be reminded that a new chapter will be released each week, so please stay tuned for Chapter 3. The text of each chapter is also on my blog, so if you wish to read along, please find the link in the description. Please leave me a comment, like and subscribe to the Philosophical Bachelor channel, and please share the video so that others may also enjoy my book. Thank you.